You've watched the movies, the documentaries, and the animated prehistoric adventures. You've been sold a fantasy, brave hunters, roaring hearths, and heroic mammoth chases that always end in a warm, communal feast. It's a comforting image, isn't it? But here is the truth that shatters that illusion. The real Ice Age was a violent, calorie-desperate nightmare. If you were dropped into that world today, you wouldn't be a hero. You'd be gone within 24 hours. For our ancestors, every single sunrise wasn't just a new day. It was a fight they could easily lose. Imagine a world where the air itself feels like shards of glass in your lungs. During the peak of the Ice Age, cold wasn't just weather. It was a physical predator that hunted you. Large parts of Europe, places where modern cities now stand, were buried under glaciers more than 2 miles thick. Temperatures remained below freezing for thousands of consecutive years. Think about the coldest winter you've ever experienced. Then multiply that misery by 50 and strip away every convenience you own. No heating, no hot drinks, no walls. In that environment, the cold was constantly trying to turn your blood to ice. Every step you took was a gamble against the white void. You think you're hungry after a long day? Try surviving on nearly 4,500 calories a day. Not because you're a professional athlete, but just to keep your heart beating. In the Ice Age, your body burned fuel at a frantic rate just to generate heat. Researchers estimate that humans during this period required almost double the calories of a modern adult just to stave off hypothermia. Food wasn't just for energy. It was the only barrier between you and a frozen death. The sheer pressure of this survival math meant that every waking moment was a calculated risk. If you didn't find enough to eat, your organs would literally begin to shut down. Can you imagine the pressure of knowing your next meal is the only thing keeping your internal fire from going out forever? And you're staring down a 15-foot tall woolly mammoth. You don't see a monster. You see life. The mammoth was the pivot point of human existence. One kill could sustain a tribe for weeks, but the mammoth was more than meat. It was your hardware store. When timber was non-existent on the frozen tundra, humans built their homes from the very creatures they hunted. Imagine standing inside. A circular shelter constructed entirely from mammoth skulls and tusks, draped in heavy hides for insulation. It wasn't a cozy cottage. It was a temporary fortress against the gale. And the moment the resources were depleted, you packed up and moved. Life was one long frozen relocation, always chasing the horizon, always hunting the very things that kept you alive. The ice wasn't the only thing trying to kill you. You shared this world with predators that viewed you as competition, or prey. Cave lions, larger and more ferocious than any lion alive today, roamed the same paths. You had to protect your fire with your life, because in the dark, the fire was the only thing that kept the teeth away. This is where human ingenuity sparked into a flame. The invention of the needle was not just a minor tool. It was the most critical piece of technology in history. It allowed for tight-fitting, layered clothing that trapped body heat. Without that needle, we never would have made it. You were standing on the edge of extinction, relying on a piece of bone and animal, sinew to keep the winter at bay. But here is the secret that history often forgets. They were never alone. Despite the vast, empty landscapes, these groups were deeply interconnected. They traded tools, beads, and shells across hundreds of miles. They shared survival tactics and supported their neighbors when a hunt failed. And deep within the oxygen-depleted depths of caves, they did something truly profound. They painted. These weren't just drawings. They were a testament to the human spirit. In a world of brutal survival, they found the time to create, to connect, and to leave a mark. By dipping their hands in red pigment and pressing them against the stone, they were whispering across time, "I was here. I survived. I saw the world." When we look at the Ice Age, we often look down on our ancestors as primitive. But consider this. They were the masters of an environment that should have erased them. They were not superhuman. They were relentless. They possessed a level of creativity, cooperation, and sheer endurance that we have largely forgotten in our world of comfort. Every survival instinct you feel today, the fear of the dark, The urge to belong, the desire to leave a legacy, was forged in that frozen furnace. They didn't just survive the Ice Age. They walked through it and emerged to build everything we know. The next time you feel like the world is too hard to handle, remember, you are carrying the fire of survivors who refuse to let their light go out. Are you truly living, or are you just surviving?